So what's up everyone, I hope you're doing well in the quarantine. Today we are recreating the whip transition and I'm gonna be showing you how you can create the same similar transition in Premiere Pro. After importing my footage, I'm gonna drag it and drop it onto the timeline. So there we have our very first clip as well as our second clip. So the very first clip is dropped onto the timeline, and then here we have our second clip as well on the timeline. So the first thing I'm going to do to these two clips is to remove the audio track. I'm going to right click on my cursor and then come to unlink. After unlinking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the two audio tracks and then delete them by pressing the backspace button. So right now I'm having two separate clips, clip A and clip B. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna come to the project window and then try to add a new adjustment layer. Since our footage was shot in 1920 by 1080p at 23 frames per second, I'm gonna leave it that way. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna come and drop this adjustment layer right over here. So upon dropping that adjustment layer over there, I'm gonna make sure that it's centered. Then I'm gonna click on that very adjustment layer. Then I'm gonna come to the effects control tab and search for the push effect. I'm gonna bring it and drop it down just below onto my timeline. After dropping the push effect between my two clips, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit and then as well try to enlarge the video so that I can go frame by frame. So here we are having the push effect starting to take its effectivity. What I'm gonna do next is that I'm gonna come to this, I'm gonna select this push transition, come to the effects control tab right over here and trim it down to 7 so that it can be very small. I don't want to make a very long transition. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna come on this very same adjustment layer as well, zoom in quite a little bit and trim it to make sure that it matches the push effect, the push transition effect. So upon trimming it, the adjustment layer, I'm gonna come back here and search for directional blur. I'm gonna drop the directional blur onto the adjustment layer. So upon dropping it onto the adjustment layer, I'm gonna come to the start of this very adjustment layer at the beginning over here and then come to the blur length. I'm gonna keyframe the beginning to 0 and then go in the middle, then bring the blur to about 200 is good, or 135, and then come as well here to the end of the adjustment layer and the end of this push transition and then reset the directional blur back to 0. So as we can see, it's at 0 at the beginning and then comes at 135 here in the middle and then comes back again to 0 at the end. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna come back to the middle here and then try to change the blur direction, the direction of the blur. I'm gonna come to the middle here and then try to change the direction of the blur. So I'm gonna change the direction of the blur. So I'm gonna change the direction of blur as well to be moving from the left to the right. And there we have the whip transition. But there is something that's still missing, and that thing is gonna be the sound effect. As you can see, we are having a very clean and nice looking whip transition. So I'm gonna import my whoosh sound into Premiere Pro. After importing my whoosh sound into Premiere Pro, I'm gonna zoom in again to where the push effect and then the adjustment layer take place, and then come over right here and drag my sound effect over there, zoom out a little bit, trim the sound effect, and then make sure that the sound effect is centered exactly in the middle of that transition. So I'm gonna play it for you guys and then you try to see how it really looks like. So I hope you can see how we have created a very nice, smooth, it's not very seamless, but it's a nice transition. If you want to transition from one area to another area, it's a very nice transition So that was it all for today, guys. If you're new here, please remember to subscribe to our channel, as we make very many travel videos. On top of that, we share knowledge and tutorials, and of course, by subscribing to the channel, you will be supporting more videos like this, and of course, you will be supporting more travel videos that are yet to come once this quarantine period is gone. Thank you very much. Right upon now, I will see you the next time.